First Alert Team, named best in Georgia. Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Tonight, a history-making fentanyl case in Columbia County scrapped after the suspect takes a plea deal. Now our I-team learns he's already out of prison after serving just a third of his sentence. Alex King's family outraged and speaking out.
Just angry, disgusted. It's just...
Colin McGill pleading guilty to drug possession and distribution charges, and a judge sentenced him to 25 years, 5 in jail, 20 probation. But the I-team has learned he's been released from prison after only serving a year and 2 months of that, not even half the time he was originally supposed to serve. Alex King died in 2020 after taking Percocet laced with fentanyl. Investigators say McGill sold him the tainted drugs. Alex was only 28 years old. And tonight, his stepfather tells our I-team's Meredith Anderson the early release is an assault to an open wound.
Alex King's mother is still too heartbroken to speak publicly about this, so Brian Lugo is speaking for the both of them. Lugo is also the one who was standing right next to Columbia County's district attorney when he announced McGill's murder charges. And tonight, he says he is disgusted McGill is already walking free.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear.
Alex King was a leaper or leapling. It's what you call someone born on February 29th. So even though his cake says 28 here, this was officially Alex's 7th birthday. It was also the last one he ever celebrated.
We'll never see him again. I mean, it can destroy a family. I mean, his poor mother, I mean, this is all she thinks about all day long, that she'll never see her son again. It's a very difficult thing to live with.
Losing Alex was hard enough. Losing hope in the justice system has only made this more painful.
Like we're stabbed in the back.
Lugo says this is personal because he stood with Columbia County District Attorney Bobby Christine in a very public way when Christine announced the first ever murder charges in Columbia County history for a fentanyl-related death.
And God willing, prevent more parents from receiving such tragic news.
Lugo says his heart was broken when he heard from someone else about the plea deal, where McGill would get to plead to much lesser charges than felony murder.
You'll stand there with a family member behind you, and you'll say how you're tough on crime and this is what you're going to do, and then you don't do it. Imagine that feeling.
District Attorney Bobby Christine did not take me up on my offer for an interview, but had this to say. He texted, "I do not critique the sentences of our judges. The decision of the parole board is just that, a decision they make." He also told me in a plea deal he never considers what the parole board could do later because he says those roles can change and often do. As for Lugo, he wishes the DA would have moved forward with the murder charge.
I would much rather have you fight for Alex and lose in court, okay, and lose the trial, than to do something like this. This is a slap in our family's face.
It can't bring Alex back, but his family hopes it could make a difference and mean more birthdays for others.
Alex, happy birthday to you. Yay!
I reached out to Alex's father as well. He has been very supportive of DA Christine. He had this to say, quoting here, "Colin and Alex were friends. My thoughts and prayers go out to the McGills in hopes that Colin's early release can lead to a life of reconciliation and redemption that would make Alex proud."
Meredith Anderson in an I-team follow-up. Meredith, thank you. As we give you a live look at Wheeler.
It's about 10 minutes.
Riley, thank you. A road trip to Savannah quickly turns into a life-saving mission in Burke County. These sorority sisters from UGA are being hailed as heroes for jumping into action and into some really cold water to save a family that drove right into Briar Creek. You can see the car almost fully submerged there. Tonight, those heroes are speaking out, and so is the driver. Hallie Turner, live in our newsroom. And Hallie, has the driver been able to actually meet these girls yet?
Not yet. Corey Crack tells me her family would not be here today without the 5 UGA heroes, and she can't wait for the chance to come face to face with them again. There's not much left here along Murray Hill Road.
I was coming through Rainsboro. It was raining on and off. Hit a whole bump something, lost control of the car, and ended up going off of the side of the bridge.
With no way of finding her glasses or a cell phone to call for help, Corey Kraft says after falling 135 feet into the cold water with her 2 kids in the car, she realized she needed a miracle to survive.
Once the car came to a stop and realized I was in the water, all I was saying is, like, I have to get out and get my kids out.
Kraft says as she tried to swim through her sunroof to get out, she saw Molly McCullum and her 4 friends.
We just throw our stuff aside, basically just without really much hesitation, and just jump in, and one by one we all just start swimming out into the middle, and we are standing on top of the car, and we eventually get this super heavy waterlogged door open, and we're able to take the first 8-year-old out of the car.
But Kraft's youngest son was still completely underwater, and when they did get him out, he was unresponsive.
I know CPR, and so didn't have time to swim him up to the shore or anything, so I sat on a tire and laid him out on the side of the car that wasn't under the water yet and performed CPR, and then eventually he came to and started crying and breathing, and it was a really surreal experience.
Sheriff Alfonso Williams says the girls saved lives.
I think it speaks to what it's like to serve humankind and to put others ahead of yourself and to do it without thinking.
And Kraft says a simple thank you will never be enough.
I really wish I could stand face to face with these girls and thank them for how much they actually helped me and my kids get out safely.
And she'll actually get that chance soon. They're working out a time for everyone to meet under much better circumstances.
What a story and what an afternoon for all of them involved. What about those kids? Are they okay, Hallie?
Yeah, Richard, they're okay. The hospital actually released them on Saturday, and everyone's going to be fine. And Corey says they're at home resting and ready to get back to life as normal.
What a story. Can't wait for that reunion as well. Hallie Turner in our newsroom tonight. 3 arrests made in an online sting operation to catch sex predators, and deputies say more arrests could be on the way. The bus was called Operation Sweet Tea. Deputies say Rubicel Castro Cruz, Anthony Harley, and James Waller were willing to travel to meet with a child for sex and offered payment in exchange. In all, undercover agents engaged with more than 1,000 people. The Grovetown Police Department says of those, 157 adults expressed a desire to meet for sexual activity despite being told they were conversing with a child. Well, it's fair to say Augusta saw a busy St. Patrick's Day weekend. Roadwork was a big factor in that impacted some plans downtown. These same projects will still be going on as golf lovers head to Augusta. Sydney Hood live for us downtown with an update on that work.
Well, a lot of these roads are either blocked or closed, but the places that line these roads are very much open, and that's what the business owners inside want you to know. At almost every corner in downtown Augusta, there are signs. Signs of progress.
It is what it is. There's not a whole lot you can do, but just do your best.
And signs of growth.
We'll just hope for the best.
Behind it all is a local shop or two.
We're still here. That's right. You got it, babe.
Hildebrandt sits on 6th Street and has so for decades.
The construction has hindered us, yes. But I think it's going to be better once it's done.
All Luann Hildebrandt can do is wonder when.
How far along they're going to be with the progress on our front, yeah. Because they are messing it up big time right now.
A couple streets over is Cafe on 8th.
It'll be 1 year, April 21st.
New to the block, but not so new to the construction.
It was definitely a slow start, and with that going on, it didn't help anything. You can see the patrolmen are sitting right in front of our restaurant, and that kind of throws people off, especially with this road being closed.
13th, 5th, and Green Streets are set to be completed in 2025. Telfair in 2026, and Broad 2027.
What we get the most, I guess, success from is our customers, our clients. They're putting it up on like our reviews and stuff like that. If you Google it, and they're saying like, don't let it discourage you. Just come on down. So we've been seeing that.
Now, a lot of these projects are not small and take some time, but as far as business goes, a lot of the owners that I spoke to today are looking to look ahead at what's to come long term out of all of this.
Glad we could help put the word out to those customers that they are open for business downtown in spite of all the construction. Sydney, thanks so much. Coming up in sports, dozens of golfers from around the world will tee it up in Graniteville this week. The Sage Valley Junior Invitational has returned, and we'll take you there next.
And the weather looks great most of the week until we get to Friday and Saturday, and also some cold temps tonight. We'll have that full forecast next. Warming up the next few days, and highs should be back into the 70s by Wednesday.
On your sideline.
The 13th edition of the Sage Valley Junior Invitational is here. Some of the best amateur boys and girls golfers from all around the world are in town, getting ready to compete and potentially see their names atop the leaderboard. Here's News 12's Alyssa Lyons.
This week, 60 golfers like the ones behind me will be playing in the Sage Valley Junior Invitational. It's its most diverse field yet, and it wouldn't be the Invitational without a few changes. Start your engine. Wait, wrong sport. The Sage Valley Junior Invitational has returned with a dynamic twist.
We've got 22 countries. It's the most diverse field we've had in the 13 years we've been doing this, and we've got the strongest field both in the boys draw and the girls draw that we've ever had.
Amateur champions, junior PGA champions, the best of the best, all competing for a gold jacket.
Spent a lot of time over the last couple of years studying the success of the alumni who've played through the Junior Invitational, and we have always said we have the future of golf here.
And over the last 18 months, they've been working to make the club fit those same standards.
We removed a significant number of trees on the front side of the course on holes 3, 4, 5, and 6. Create greater visibility for our patrons when they come out and competitive atmosphere for the players.
That significant number was about 4,000 trees. They even went as far as inviting college coaches this year.
It's really hard to identify junior players from time to time because they are so segmented geographically, and so we found that college coaches are a tremendous asset trying to identify the best up-and-coming players in some of the far-flung parts of the world, like the Far East and even Australia and South Africa.
What better place to bring them all together than Graniteville? Alyssa Lyons on your side.
Thank you, Alyssa. Tournament play begins this Thursday and runs through Saturday, and admission is free over at Sage Valley. The defending state champion Harlem baseball team is off to a 16-0 start to the season. In addition to being undefeated, according to Max Preps, Harlem is the 23rd best team in the nation. The Bulldogs have 8 returning starters from that state championship winning team, and multiple of their returning upperclassmen have either signed or are committed to play in college. This is head coach Jimmy Lewis's 46th season as head coach, and earlier today he had the chance to travel to the state capitol with his team. The Bulldogs had the opportunity to meet Georgia Governor Brian Kemp and were given a proclamation for winning last year's state title.
Thank you, Dan. Great to see them in the spotlight today. A new splash of color in downtown Augusta. We'll take you there after the break.
All right, what do we got?
Looks like 64 yards from the pin. About 64 mile/hour winds.
Dude, there's no wind.
Hand me my 64-degree wedge.
What's it with you and 64?
Are you 64?
.com
on Washington Road.
Experience it once and you'll never forget it.
Hey, Brett, I think we need a jingle.
What'd you have in mind?
I don't know yet.
Well, if you're taking something, come knock on my door.
Come and knock on my door.
If you're 64.
The next time you drive downtown, these vibrant colors might catch your eye. Check out this new Augusta University-inspired mural located right there at the corner of Reynolds and 11th Streets. For weeks now, 40 faculty, staff, and students from AU have used their time to help design and paint this massive project.
It's very cool. I mean, this is the first time I've ever done a mural and have one in such a prominent spot. I mean, it's right on the corner of the Cyber Center and a block from Broad Street.
Right there on the cyber campus, Cindy Epps with the Department of Art and Design helped lead that project. Looking forward to some new color in downtown Augusta there. An important vote just weeks away now. The Richmond County Sheriff is the top cop of the county. 4 people running for that job, including independent Richard Dixon. He won't be on the ballot in May, but he's working to get those signatures to earn a spot in the fall election. Craig Allison looks at how close he is to that goal.
We're going to take the door off the hinges and we're going to be open to the public.
And he means that literally, opening up his office so he's connected to both the public and his staff. while Dixon is taking on the challenge of running as an independent, a ballot box that requires almost 6,800 signatures to run. He prides himself on his experience at the Georgia Public Safety Training Center, serving for 17 years in both Athens and Augusta.
I know 90% of the police officers out there. They know what kind of person I am. They know where I stand. So on day one, as I walk through the door, we're going to boost morale back up on the agency.
Some of his unique takes are introducing the idea of a night court to get the judicial system unplugged, as well as the Charles B. Webster Detention Center. And while filling vacancies is important in the sheriff's office, he says it's about prioritizing the officers who are already here.
When you raise the base salary and you're not raising the salary of the officers who are tenured, you're filling that gap up, and the officers who have been dedicated to you are not being rewarded.
In the end, he says the current state of the sheriff's office is what's bringing him out of retirement.
I've lived here my entire life. I consider the Richmond County Sheriff's Office my home, and it has just broken my heart to see where it's gone. So my passion is to come back and try to fix that.
In Augusta, Craig Allison, on your side.
Dixon tells us he has more than 2,000 signatures so far, but needs at least another 4,700 by July 1st to make it on November's ballot. If not, the sheriff's office election will be decided by... You can find them all on the website, wrdw.com. Riley.
Well, early tea times tomorrow could have to wait a little bit. There could be that early freeze or frost delay, but luckily plenty of sun on Tuesday. Having a quick look at that 7-day forecast just after the break.
Has a life-changing
You deserve. Going back to our thermal dam cam, take a look at the wind. It has definitely picked up here from our dam cam. How about the white caps you're seeing on Clarksville Lake? Sustained winds are around 20 miles an hour. We are seeing gusts actually up to around 30 and even 30 plus in a few spots. So this is going to lead to some gusty conditions this evening, and unfortunately, it is going to keep this pollen count high over the next several days. We're not going to really see much relief until we get towards the end of the week. We should have a good rain soaking across the area Friday. That should help lower that pollen count for most spots. Remember, it is going to be cold tonight. The wind chill could actually get down to the 20s by daybreak tomorrow morning. So a very chilly start to our Tuesday, and even the afternoon, not going to feel overly warm. Most likely upper 50s to low 60s out there late into our Tuesday. Still cool start Wednesday. We'll wake up into the 30s, but no need to worry about any freeze concerns then. And then as we get later into the week, more rain does show up by Friday. So outdoor plans Friday could be impacted. Luckily, mostly dry the weekend.
Our next live update comes at the top of the hour over on 26 News. If we don't see you there, we'll check back in tonight at 11. Hope to see you then. Have a great evening.
At the CBS Evening News, we focus on solutions, finding solutions to help people understand what are the right choices to make for you and your family.
Foundation